welcome to Cobblemon. CAC, create ours. No, Cobblemon, create ours. Fuck, Cobblemon, ours, create. There we go. I'll be doing a lot of short voiceovers today because the video is in Norwegian and I don't feel like having you listen to me talk Norwegian the whole time. Some parts you will still hear it because it's funny as hell. And there's Flamey in our introduction as well. Spawn was ass, but that's fine. Then we have Flamey once again. For the starters, Mike chose Charmander. I chose Froakie. Flamey chose Chimchar. What a shock if you look at his profile. And then Maria chose Chespin, as you can see.
Jeg skjønte ikke helt dette minispillet.
Du skal koble sammen dottene på riktig måte.
Ja, men hva er riktig måte?
That was kind of funny. Then we started the adventure. I found a Vulpix pretty early, level 5. So you know what I had to do? Murder! No, I'm kidding. I tried catching it, and to my own surprise, it actually worked. So pretty happy about our first addition to the team. Massive, by the way. It didn't last long because I removed it as soon as I got a computer because I found a lot of stuff I wanted instead. And then for my general, I don't know why I caught the Wangle, but for my general team, I wanted to go dark ghost types because Froakie goes into Greninja, who's a water dark type, and then there's a lot of other cool ghost Pokemon, and I just love that. Here we have Aqua Walkers from the Relics mod, who let us walk on water. Also just Jesus, and then Maria didn't get any, so she had to take the boat across. Pretty funny.
Dere sto helt stille ganske lenge.
There was a lot of lag, as you saw. Here we have a little Fletchinder. Thank God. We got mini Charizard up in this bitch. Well, I caught that one as well. And he stayed on the team for quite a long time until actually quite recently. And it's like a week ago since we started. Because he was just a flyer and he one-shot everything because of his typings. Here I call my first ghost type, pretty exciting. And then I talk about how we have a mod which lets you kill or gather up points for different Pokemon typings by either catching or killing them. Every time you kill or capture 50 Pokemon of a specific type, you get one increase in your badge, so it's gonna, give you bonuses. For example, if you capture or kill 50 flying types, you get more flying speed. And then here we have me struggling for my life to kill or capture a Pichu, which was pretty cute. And I was like, fuck yeah, Pikachu eventually. And I was having a harder time than my Pokemon. And this foreshadowing, keep that in mind, because it's a pretty funny one. Here's the first death. That was kind of sad, but it happens to the best of us. Almost happened again. Pretty crazy. Let's hope it doesn't. And then we have a Honedge, which I found. And let me tell you, this bad boy is still on my team, but as its final evolution. Pretty fun. It took a long time to capture, though. Well, not really. I think it took like 2 Pokeballs, not even. And then we're looking for a base location, and I'm like, oh, further south looks pretty cool, by the island, which is not an island. And then there we are, back at the base location. So that's where we ended up building our bases, at least for now. Seeing as not everybody is always online, it's mainly me. I have the most, and then Flamey's dug out a massive hole. Massive. So here's just a bunch of time lapses now after this that are gonna show you what the frick was happening, because there was a lot of building and a lot of sped up progress. All in all, this video was originally 8.5 hours long. It was the first session, and you can see I think I sped up some parts for like 2 or 3,000%, because I wanted to get everything in. But as more videos come out, you're gonna see less and less than that. Because so far, even though we're playing for a week, I think we're on day 500 in game now because the server is constantly running. So that's kind of funny. But then it doesn't really look like it. So yeah, but as mentioned, for future references, you're not gonna have as much sped up progress or like as much sped up videos. I just wanted to do it to start so you can see what's actually going on. And then also because the first few videos are gonna be really voiceover because I'm recording while everybody is playing, so they're just talking or reading in a Discord chat, and then I'm like I can't really talk English because that's gonna be awkward as hell. But you know,
Gyarados.
that was a real reaction from Flamey and I to Mike catching a Gyarados. And then I try to look at it, but then I get distracted because Flamey found an Eevee, and I was like, I would much rather want to get an Eevee and then an Umbreon instead of looking at Mike's Gyarados. And to my surprise, he did not fool me. He didn't catch it either. So later on, I let him get a Ditto because I found a second one. So I was like, yeah, you can have that one. Also, Flamey was capturing his Pokemon in a really horrible way. As you saw earlier, he started swinging his sword at my Eevee. What the fuck? So, that's how he captures his. He beats him up physically with his sword and blah blah blah. Pause. And then he throws his balls at him. Pause. And it works, which is, I hate it, but sure, whatever. Coming up here now, pretty damn soon, we have a big part of the team. You can guess what it is. It's in no way a dark or a ghost type, but it's a Baneri. And who does Baneri evolve into, you might ask? I caught a low punny, Batman. There are no laws against Pokemon. I had this I had this motherfucker on my team until it was level 59. And then it finally evolved after doing way too much. So that was amazing. It finally wanted to, be a part of the team. It one shots everything as of now because it's level like 64, I think, which is a lot higher than a lot of the other ones. My starter wasn't even at that level, but I did finally get Greninja. I think that's at the end of the video. I could be wrong. But yeah, my base was horrible, and I also didn't build a house until like yesterday in real life. So I was the last person without a house. But I did get iron farms because that's really great. And we need that because I'm going to use a lot of iron and also Ars Nouveau. Great mod, by the way. It's my current base is mainly based on that with a centerpiece and so on. Like obviously, yes, Cobblemon, blah blah blah. There is not a lot of create stuff because I want to get all that on video where I actually can talk about it. So for now, it was just a spell book with practically nothing in it apart from break, which I used to break like 6 spawners over a distance. So that's kind of wasted. But then now I finally have all the shit I need so I can make whatever. And then I have also been to the Nethers, so that's pretty great. I have a lot of stuff coming out. Also, Borderlands 4 just released yesterday, so I've been playing that quite a lot, and I'm going to post a video on that as well. So there's going to be both of these things at the same time. Here we have the door entrance thing to my base for now. It gets replaced later. It disappears pretty much. I had great plans for my house. I gotta say, they ended up not as good as I wish, but that's fine. I can always change it in the future because I have the server going for at least half a year, and it's gonna cost me 1,000 or $100 for the next half year to keep it going. So we'll see if I do that or if I just find another one. Or worst case scenario or best case scenario, I do the same deal again for $37 for half a year, and then just with a new email address and then the same world. Sorry about that. Hopefully for the next time as well, it's gonna be proper or not proper, but like I can have more people join and not just my friends. So that'd be pretty fun. If people are interested enough, I wanted to get that. And then everybody can live further apart because here you can't see it quite yet because only like, 3 of us have built a base. That's me and Flamey and then Mike because the girls weren't online at this time. They were on, or one of them were online at the start and then they disappeared. Why'd I slow down so much here? Oh yeah, Pichu finally could evolve. So the thing that was dope about this is I had Pichu and Eevee on one shoulder each. Pretty cool, pretty cozy. You saw it a lot earlier in the video. I also freaked out. I had a, there we go. It's great. And then Pikachu and Eevee were there instead. Umbreon could not go on my shoulder, which pissed me off, but that's fine. This gym, by the way, is like I did a lot of them in a row later on, just off cam. Uh, I don't get a lot of XP because I do them severely under leveled. Well, I'm over leveled for them for the rewards because you can get free Pokemon. So I got a Diglett when I finally got one, and then it wasn't even a shiny, so I got pretty pissed off. But that's fine. So, because you can make shiny Poke loot crates or whatever, and they just give you random Pokemon. It's great. I also started doing fossils later on. You're going to see when I get there. Here's the montage for getting Frogadier to level 36. I can get Greninja. Pretty hilarious, pretty great. Took way too long. And then something funny happened. Yeah, so it was pretty late, and I didn't go to bed quite yet. I went to bed like 5 a.m. an hour later, but that's fine. He was finally ready to evolve, so I headed back to my base on the, Flesh Tender we called earlier, who turned into Talonflame, and was my flyer for a long period of time. Also, there's not a lot of stuff that happened, really, between here and later, like, the next 3 episodes, which are noticeable in my Pokemon team, but there is a lot of stuff that happened to the base. So, here we are, and they're gonna evolve.